Hello, welcome back. This is lecture number 6, and I'm going to create exercises 16, 17, and 18. As you know, there are 10 lectures in the series. Each lecture lasts approximately 1 hour. A different lecture is given each week at the same time. If you prefer that the lectures be given at a different time, please let me know and I'll accommodate you. Before starting to draw the exercises, I'd like to comment about drawing and printing in model space. You know that all my exercises are drawn in model space and printed in paper space. That is the practice preferred by most companies. On the other hand, I have worked for a number of companies that prefer not to use paper space at all. What you are now looking at is a complete set of drawings of a Geneva drive module which I drew entirely in model space and which are to be printed in model space. The largest drawing is the assembly drawing. It is shown in the upper left corner and should be plotted at 1/2 scale. The standard pea-size format is 11 by 17, and if the format is inserted at full size 1:1, the drawing would be too large to fit on the format. As a consequence, the pea-size format has to be inserted at twice its size in order for the drawing to fit properly. On the other hand, if the drawing is not too large but looks good, there is no need to scale the format. The 5 drawings in the middle appear to fit properly at 1:1, so there is no need to scale the format for those drawings. If, however, we want all the drawings to be on B-size paper, 11 by 17, and the same format is inserted for a very small part, then it becomes necessary to scale down the format. The 2 drawings in the lower right corner will be plotted at a scale of 1/4. Therefore, the formats were inserted at 1/4 of their original size. Regardless of the scale of a printed drawing, when drawings are printed in either model or paper space, they have to be consistent. All companies want text and text height to be standard sizes. Out of necessity, there has to be changes to the variables of dim scale and LT scale. Remember that dim scale sets the overall scale factor applied to dimensioning variables that specify sizes, distances, or offsets, and LT scale is used to change the scale factor of line types for all objects in a drawing. When a drawing has to be plotted at 1/2 scale, it would require a dim scale of 2, whereas a drawing to be plotted at full scale, 1:1, only requires a dim scale of 1, which is the default. However, plotting at 1/4 scale would require a dim scale of 4, and so on. Exercise 16 also looks fairly simple. I'll simply go into model space. I already have it set up to be on layer 1. Type C, enter, pick any point. T, enter, 1.032, enter. Zoom in to enlarge it. C, enter. Go to O snap and make sure you're going to put it make concentric circles. D, enter. 0.656, enter. Go to dimension toolbar, center mark. Now we're going to line with O-snap on and ortho on. Bring the line over here, bring it down anywhere. Repeat the command for line and go here. Offset, enter, 0.094, enter. Hit escape, fillet, enter, spacebar, repeat the command. The drawing says 0.06 as a saw cut, so I'll zoom in, offset half of 0.6 is 0.3, so I'm going to offset 0.003, draw this line up, offset that one down. I'll even zoom in closer. Now I want to break, BR, enter. I want to break this line, the outside. F for first point, pick it here, mistake. Undo, redo. I'll simply erase that line and type BR, break. I want to break this line. F for the first point here, second point there. Hit enter to repeat. I want to break this line. F for the first point here, second point there. Now I want to trim, TR, enter. I want to trim from both of these circles the excess material. And zoom previous. Again, hit escape. Now we'll want to select. So I'm going to pick that and that, whatever. I'm going to change the property. So I'll go here to property. I'm going to put it on layer center. And then hit escape, use match property. I'll make a window like so. No, my mistake. I want to match property, so I'll pick this red one, which is the center line, and do that. And then I'll do that. I notice that the dimensions are to 3 places, so we'll have to modify dimension style, modify, go to units, make 3 zeros after the decimal point, and still we get rid of the first 0 and close it. Then I'm going to make layer dimension current. Okay, see, I'm still on the match paintbrush, so I'll right click, enter to exit. Now I'm going to go to linear dimension, and I'll pick this here and put it like that, and I'm going to click on it, then move it up like so, and then shrink the whole thing down a bit. I might even move, escape, M, enter, might even move this away a little bit, plenty of room. Do it some more. Okay, now we're going to draw a line from this intersection here, another line from this intersection there, and then we're going to trim TR, enter, from both of these lines to show the inside diameter. And we're going to dimension with a linear dimension from here to here the inside diameter, 0.656. We're going to show the outside diameter, 1.032, and we're going to copy this center line here and bring it over here. Another thing we ought to do is to put a dimension on the thickness here, 094. Pan over. Drawing looks correct, so what we'll do is to move into, well, zoom it down as usual, then pan, bring it over here. At this time we'll probably go into layer and make solid current, and you probably will want to copy CO, enter, the picture and drag it up, take ortho off and bring it over here somewhere. Hit escape and erase center lines, which you don't really need. And then we want to select this, go to properties and put it on layer solid. And we're able to go into southeast isometric mode, pan and zoom to see it better. Now I think what we have to do is to polyline edit, PE, enter. Do I want to make that a polyline? I say yes. Then I join, J, enter, and make the whole thing one. Now I want to enter twice, I guess. Now we want to extrude, EXT, enter. We want to extrude this object to a height of 0.094, enter, and we'll shade it to see what it looks like. It looks correct, so we'll zoom, extend, and we'll go into top view, switch to paper space, change layer, viewports, current, MV, enter, and then we can do it again, double click, southeast isometric, pan and zoom, and we can click on this, double click outside first, then click on this. That's going to be at 1:1, so we'll go to annotation scale, click on 1:1, made it bigger, which means I'll have to make this bigger, and perhaps even this way. I'll click on that grip and make that bigger. Now I can go inside and I can pan to center it like that. And if we want, set layer 1 current, freeze viewports. Well, that was a simple one. Thank you for watching. We'll start project 17. We'll draw a line from any point ortho has to be on. 2.25, enter. Down 1.25, enter. 2.25, enter. C to close. Then we're going to zoom in. And we're going to copy. In this case, we can copy the whole thing to make the front view. And we can pan up a little bit. And we can copy with a crossing window. Anything we touch is going to be copied. Bring it over here like that. Escape or enter. Then we're going to offset 1.25, enter. Hit escape, fillet. Repeat the command. We'll offset again 0.63, and then enter twice to offset 0.75, and then we'll fill it. Fillet radius 0. Then we'll offset one more time, 0.75. We'll accept that. And we'll bring this line over here. Enter twice to offset 0.63. From here down. And we'll hit escape, fill it. We'll draw a line from this point. We'll have to put snap on. Draw a line from this point here up, and another line from this point up, and we'll offset 0.5. And we'll break, BR, enter, that line. F for first, from here. Oh, I was on the offset command, so I'll undo that. Offset, enter, 0.5, enter. Fillet radius 0. You got to keep watching the command line. Hit the space bar, break, PR, enter, F for the first point, second point, didn't work, try it again, BR, enter, break this line, F, enter, the first, that point. That point. And we can fill it with radius 0. offset 0.38. Enter twice 1.5. Enter twice 0.31. Enter twice 0.63. Now we're going to put a circle. C, enter. Escape. C, enter. Going to put a circle at that intersection. D, enter for diameter 0.38. Going to put a circle at that intersection. D, diameter 0.38. And we're going to erase these construction lines. And now we're going to copy this line, drag it over here, and we're going to offset O, enter, 0.5, enter. Fillet, escape, if radius 0, then trim, TR, enter. Now we're going to make layer center current and draw some center lines. We'll start with the circles, put a center mark there, there, draw a line from that end point here, draw another line from that end point here, and we'll break, BR, enter, from here over, and we'll break from here over there. Also we'll draw center line on the top view like that, and enter twice, and we can break, BR, enter. Perhaps the light scale should be changed, LTS. It's one, I'll make it 0.65, just a guess. Looks better. We'll go to layers and make the hidden line current and draw a line from that intersection up, line from that intersection up. Then we're going to trim from here, and we're going to trim from there. I could do the same on the other side, but it might be easier simply to copy these center lines from that intersection to that intersection. I think we're ready to dimension, so we'll change the layer to DIM and make that current and start to dimension. The dim scale's all set. It's 1:1, which is the default. Just keep hitting the enter key till a linear dimension shows up on the command line. I'll shrink it down so we can see better what's going on. Apparently I missed a dimension. I'm going to go from this here to here. Dimensions are too close together, so we really move it in like that. I'm going to edit ED enter because there are two of these. I might just put 2x space and click OK. Means the same thing as typical two places. And up here too. 2x space, same as typical. Okay, so the drawings are complete, and now I can go on to making a solid. What we'll do is to change the layer, make solid current, zoom real time to shrink it down in size a bit, then pan, put over in the low left. First thing I'll do is take the rectangle command, go from there to there, and I'm going to move enter L enter with ortho off so I can put it in the upper right. Also I can copy those two holes by selecting them from that intersection to that intersection. In addition, I can use the rectangle to trace over the small buses. M enter, L enter, and in the same way put that up there. Also I can copy the hole from here and put it up there. We're in position now to go switch to the view southeast isometric, pan over, zoom with the window, and we can just zoom it all and change the layer, change property, layer, put them all on the layer solid, and hit escape. Now I hit the wrong one. Try it again. Go to properties, click on layer, solid. There'll be continuous lines. Now we're going to type, we'll type PE enter for polyline edit. No, we don't have to. It already is a polyline. I already made them with a polyline. Rectangle is a polyline. I'll hit escape. Now all we have to do is to extrude, EXT. I want to extrude the little square and the little circle a height to a height of 0.5. Also, I want to extrude the big rectangle and the holes to a height of 0.75. Now we'll subtract from the big one, small cylinders. Subtract again from here to here. Enter. We can move and enter this from that intersection to that one, and we can copy that from here to here. Hopefully it'll work, I don't know. We'll see. So we're going to do a union. Going to add them all together. I'll take a window and do that. Enter. And let's see what it looks like. I guess we have it right. So we'll Z, enter, E, enter. We'll go into top view. Why isn't it happening? Oh, I gotta select the viewport. Okay, top view. Now we can go into the layout mode. We can make the viewports layer current. I can type MV from my M view, and I'll take off O-snap because I don't want to snap to the wrong place. I want to make this big, like that, and I'll do another one, a smaller one. Then, as you know, southeast isometric, pan and zoom. Don't forget to double click outside to get back into paper space. Click on the big viewport for annotation scale, which in this case is 1:1. Double click inside, then pan to show the drawing properly. You can see that the center lines don't look all that great, so I'll type LTS again, and this time I'll make it even smaller. Let's try 0.5. That looks better. Now we'll save this as exercise 17, and I suppose we ought to complete it. Go here to layer 1, current, freeze viewports. Now I can say that the drawing is complete. I want to thank you very much. Oh, that doesn't show in the bottom. I wonder why. Well, we know why. We can just move it up in the viewport. Thank you, and we'll move on to exercise 18. This is exercise 18. It looks a bit more challenging. In order for you to see the dimensions more clearly, I'll make the right viewport or the right screen, I'll enlarge it so that you can see the dimensions better. Because we're going to plot this at 1/2 scale, I should change dim scale, DIM. Dim scale is going to be 2 because it's plotted at 1/2 scale. And now you simply start drawing. Start with the line command. We'll pick any point. I'll enter, pick any point on the screen. 2.06. Move up 1.57. To the right 2.06. Down C to close. Of course, we have to zoom it, enlarge it, pan, put it about there. Now we're going to copy, CO enter, drag it down for the front view. Hit enter or escape, offset, O enter, 1.57, offset 0.34, enter twice, and offset 0.59. And draw this line. Fill it, F enter for radius 0. Clean up the intersections. Now we'll proceed to draw the right view, and so we'll copy these lines, pick a point and drag over here like that. Escape or enter. Offset. .39. Fill it, radius 0, F enter, and clean up the intersections. Offset, O enter, 0.69. Enter twice. Offset 0.25. Hit escape, fillet radius. Clean up the intersections. Now you'll want to copy this line here. Escape or enter and extend, EX enter, to those lines, that. And we'll want to copy vertical line and drag it up, and again extend to those lines, that one. Hit escape, Now you'll want to copy that line and drag it over here like that, and to trim from those vertical lines, enter those excesses. Also, you'll want to offset, enter 0.69. Offset 0.69 this line, then draw a circle, C, enter. D, enter. Well, the radius is specified, so I'll escape that and I'll type C, enter. R, enter. 0.51, enter. And we'll zoom that view up to see it better. And we're going to break, BR, enter, that line. F is the first point, select it, and select the second point. Also, we'll want to break, BR, enter, this line. F for the first point here, then simply select the second point there. And we'll want to fill it with a radius of 0. This intersection here, it didn't erase or trim it. That means the only way we can get rid of it is to erase it. So E, enter, erase. Now to zoom previous, we'll have to proceed to put holes in the top view, so offset, O, enter, 0.34, enter. Enter twice, offset 1.03, enter twice, offset 0.34, enter twice, 0.7. That doesn't quite look right. That's because the top view is wrong. I really have to offset 1.39. And clean up that top view. That's wrong. We're going to have to trim, TR, enter. I want to trim from that line, enter. I can type F, enter, which is a fence, and I can select all of them like that and hit enter. Now the top view looks more correct, and I can proceed to draw a circle, C, enter, at any one of these intersections. D, enter, 0.25. And I can copy that circle to all the various points necessary, and then erase the construction lines. To complete the top view, I'll draw a line from the midpoint like that. Then I have to offset, O, enter. 0.69, half of that is 0.345. So I'm going to offset 0.345. And I can erase the center line and we can trim TR enter from that line. That doesn't quite look right, so let's undo it. Perhaps a better way of doing it is to offset O enter. Instead of giving a number, I'll just simply pick the 2 points, that distance from there to there. Now I can offset in that direction and offset in that direction by picking 2 points to get the distance, and then trim. Now would be a good time to go into layer and make the center layer current, and I can put a center line at each one of these circles, and also put one for there. And I can draw a line from that intersection over here. The only trouble is that line is supposed to be a hidden line, so I'll click on it. I'll go to Property. I'll change the layer from center to hidden. It should turn blue. Hit Escape, and then I can trim. TR enter. Doesn't look like a hidden line, so I can always change LTS, make it smaller, 0.5, and that looks a bit better. In addition, we want to make the DIM, the dim current, so that we can start dimensioning the object with linear dimensions. Hit the space bar and then simply continue. Since adding dimensions to a drawing is a boring process, I put all the dimensions on the drawing without recording the video so as to save you time. Now what we'll have to do is to go back to the drawing on the right in Zoom Extents and concentrate on the solid model. So I'm going to enlarge the solid model of drawing 18, which is what we want to draw now. So I'll reactivate drawing on the left, and I'll zoom real time to shrink it down, and then pan to put it in the lower left corner. I'll make layer solid current, and we'll proceed to make the solid model. In this instance, I think it's perhaps better if I go to layers and I freeze the dimension layer. Now it will be easier to copy the 3 views which I'll need for the solid model. So I'll go to Copy, then move them to the upper right with Ortho and O-Snap off, like that. And then I can thaw the dimension layer. And now, as usual, we're going to pan and then zoom to enlarge. So what I need for the solid model, I'll start to use. We'll erase the center lines We won't be needing them. Won't be needing these lines. Fillet radius of 0. We'll be needing that section. And so I'm simply going to move it over to the left. We're also going to be needing well, might as well change that to layer solid, color red. Matter of fact, change everything here to layer solid. Now I'm going to erase what I don't need. I don't need this area. And I'll move this view down a bit like so. Well, with ortho on, probably. Although I don't think it matters. I want to get rid of the center marks because we're not going to need them for the solid. So we need this piece and this piece, and now I got to draw this piece here. Now I got to draw this piece. Also, I won't need this view, so that can be erased. Probably I ought to copy this view, drag it up here. What I really need is the small rectangle, so I'm going to fill it if enter, radius 0. So I believe that these are the 3 pieces that are going to be required to make this part as a solid model. Let's hope I'm right. So I'll move into southeast isometric view, pan, and zoom the window so I can see better what's going on. I'm going to need the dimensions again, so I think I'll zoom extents on that view and enlarge the dimensions so I can see them better. But first I'm going to have to type PE, polyline edit, PE enter, select that, want to make it a polyline, yes, J enter join, and I'll simply select those lines, make it one polyline. Have to do the same with the larger rectangle. PE enter, make it a polyline, yes, J enter, then join all the continuous lines together, and do the same for this piece. PE enter, make it a polyline, yes, J enter, select the whole thing. Alright, so everything's a polyline now. What I want to do is to extrude, EXT. I'll extrude the rectangle and this hole to a distance of 0.25. And we'll want to subtract from the block, enter, the whole enter. Now on the larger piece, which is 0.59 minus 0.25, we end up with 3,4. I'm going to type EXT enter. We're going to extrude the rectangle and the holes enter 0.34. Then we're going to subtract from that block, enter the 2 holes. And now we're going to have to extrude EXT, enter this piece, 0.34. Try it again, EXT, enter. I have to select the object, enter, 0.34, enter. Then we'll move from that corner underneath to that corner, and we'll rotate, 3D rotate this from here 90. Looks like we'll have to rotate it again. 3D rotate this object, take it here. This time I'll click the blue axis, type 90 again. Now I can move this object from here to here and union it all together, and hopefully it'll look right. And I guess it does. So I'll Z, enter, E, enter, move into top view, move into paper space, take off object snap and ortho, type MV for my view, enter, make a large window, but as you can see I made a mistake. That should be on viewports layer, so I'll click that, change the layer to viewports, and viewports layer should be current, so I'll fix that now. MV, enter, and make another window. Double click inside, southeast isometric, pan and zoom, zoom real time to enlarge it even more. Double click outside, select the 2D window. For the annotation scale, I want it to be 1/2. Double click inside, then pan to set it up properly. Click on the other drawing that we're copying. Z, enter, E, enter. Make it active. Z, enter, E, enter. And the drawing looks pretty good. So we'll make the left drawing active. Click layer, make layer 1 current. Freeze the viewports layer. And that completes the drawing. Thank you for watching. This video will show how to align two objects in 2D. The first thing to do is to make the command line active, type AL, enter, and select the objects. I'll select them with a window, enter. I'll have to pick the first point, but I need OSNAP to be on. So I'll connect these 2 points, then I'll connect these 2 points. I'll press enter to end the command. The selected objects are moved from the source point to the destination point, and second and third points, if I specified them, will rotate and tilt the selected objects. In this video, you will learn how to draw an arc by specifying 3 points. I'll pick on the command line to make it active, type A, enter, and I need a start point. OSNAP is on, so I can pick this point, then I'll pick a point for the arc, and then the end point. I could do that again by hitting enter or the space bar to repeat the command. Take my first point, second point, and end point. Now we'll see how to use the break command to break an object, whether it be a line, a circle, or an arc. Of course, we'll make the command line active and type BR, enter, which is the alias for break, and we'll select the line, and we're going to take OSNAP off, and what we have to do is pick a point. You don't have to actually touch the line. I can repeat the command and pick another 2 points like that, or whatever. Keep doing it. Either go right to left or left to right, it doesn't matter. This time I'll hit enter or the space bar, and I'll select this line here. I'll type F enter, put the object snap back on, and select my first intersection and then my second intersection, and you see that the line in between has disappeared. Also, we'll take off the object snap, we'll hit the space bar to repeat the command, and we'll try it on the circle. We'll pick 2 points, hit the space bar or enter key, another 2 points. You'll notice that I'm doing it counterclockwise. When you break a circle, you always have to do it counterclockwise. You don't actually have to touch it but get close to it. And that looks reasonably well. In this video, we'll learn how to chamfer objects. I have here a plate and a round shaft. So the first thing I'll do is to type CHA, enter. Then I'll type D, enter. And I'll type 0.25, enter. That establishes one distance. I'll hit enter, that establishes a second distance. Now all I got to do is select 2 lines. Hit enter or the space bar to repeat the command, and select another 2 lines. Repeat the command by hitting the space bar or enter key, and then do the last one. As far as the shaft goes, I'm going to type CHA, enter again, try it. CHA, enter. D, enter. This time the distance will be 0.06, enter. And I'll enter it again because I want it at 45 degrees. So now I'll select the corner, repeat it, down there, and again on this side, and again here. And since this is a shaft, and looking at it from the outside, there should be a line here. So I'm going to put a line with object snap-on from here to here, and to repeat the command from here to here. And the drawing looks correct, so we'll move on. In this case, we will learn to draw a circle by specifying a center point and radius or diameter. And so I'm going to type C enter, then I'll type R enter, and with those snap on, pick the left end point, move the mouse. I'll type R enter for the radius and type 0.19. Enter. Repeat the command by hitting the enter or space key. Select the other end of the line. Now I'm going to type D enter, and I'll type 0.75 enter. And that looks right. In this case, we're going to copy an object using 2 points. So on the command line, I'll type CO enter. I'll select the circle on the left, enter. A base point, I'll select the quadrant using object snap, the quadrant, and I'll put that at the end point of the vertical line. Hit escape. Repeat the command. I'll select the circle. I'll pick the quadrant again, but this time I'll pick that left side quadrant, then bring it over here and put it at the end point there, and hit enter or escape to complete the command. And that looks okay. Here in this video, we'll learn how to insert points to mark equal segments. The first thing I want to do is to type PDMODE. The reason for that is I want to make sure I've got a mark here. 0, 1, 2, 3 all have different marks. So I'm going to accept 3 as the mark. Now I'm going to type DIV, enter. I'll select the line, and I'm asked for the number of segments. I'll type 3, enter. I'll repeat the command. I'll select the circle, and they ask for the number of segments, and I'll type 6. So those X's are PD mode 3, and that divides the line. I could draw lines, I could break at those points, and incidentally they're called nodes. These X's are called nodes. So you can break different segments and so forth. I don't think that the erase command requires much explanation. All you have to do is type enter, and you can select individual entities to erase, or you can hit enter, and you can type enter with a crossing so that anything you touch can be erased, or you can make a window so anything encompassed by the window will be erased, or you can undo. I think that's enough for the erase command. The extend command is pretty straightforward. I'll type EX enter to extend. I'll select the circle, enter, and then pick any of these points to extend it to the perimeter of the circle. Repeat the command. I can do it one at a time. I want to extend to that line, enter. Repeat the command. I want to extend to this line, enter, that line, enter. Or you can do it multiple at once. For example, I want to extend to both of those lines, enter, then I can extend it like that. That's all you have to know about extend. The fillet command is extremely useful, and I use it all the time. I'll type F enter, R enter, 0.19 enter, and I'll select these two lines. I'll do it again. F enter, R enter. This time the radius will be 0, enter. This is a command you'll use constantly, because I can make a right angle whether the lines are far apart or whatever. So you want to be sure you learn the fillet command, and that's all there is to it. Here we're going to use the hatch command. I'll type H enter. Dialog box comes up, and I'm asked to select objects. So let's say I select the rectangle, enter, dialog box appears again. I don't wish to make any changes to the scale or whatever, so I'll simply say OK. I'll repeat the command. This time I want to change the direction of the hatch marks, so I'll change the angle from 0 to 90. And I'll pick a point. I'll select objects. I'll select the circle, enter, dialog box appears, you click OK, and that's it. Kind of easy and straightforward. Autocad is not as hard as many people think it is once you get into it. Sometimes it's easier to use the mirror command than to use copy or move. In this case, I'll use mirror. MI, enter. I'll select the number 2 on that side, enter. With O snap on, I'll pick that vertical line. I got to pick 2 points like so, and you hit enter. You notice that the 2 does not invert. And I guess that's it for this video. The move command is also straightforward. Simply type M enter, select the circle, go to the intersection there, and drag it to the end point like that. I could mirror that to put the circle on the other end, but instead I'm going to repeat, or I'll use the copy command. So I'm going to copy this, enter, from the quadrant on the left side and drag it over to the other end. Hit enter. And that's that. In this video, we'll offset a circle and a rectangle by specifying a distance. And so on the command line, I'll simply type O enter, and then I'll type in a distance, 0.1, enter. And I can offset the circle any number of times. And also I can offset the rectangle, and both inside and outside, as you see. Hit escape to clear the command line, And that's that. In this video, we're going to use the petit command to join polylines, lines and arcs into a single polyline. Of course, you have to have a single polyline as shown in red here in order to be able to extrude it in 3 dimensions. So, to begin with, I'm going to activate the command line and type PE enter. It says select a polyline, so I select a line. I'm asked if I want to turn it into a polyline. I say yes, enter, just hit enter. Then I want to type J enter to join. In other words, I want to join to that line which I just made a polyline, all these other lines. So I select them all and hit enter twice. Now that is a polyline which can't be extruded. So same with that one. This is also, petit is also useful to create wide polylines. For example, if I was to type PE enter and select this line, which is a polyline, I can type W enter and specify a new width for all the segments. So I'll type 0.125 enter. Repeat the command, select the second line, W for width, enter, specify a new width, 0.375, enter. Repeat the command, select a polyline. An arc is a polyline. No, it's not. So I guess I have to turn it into a polyline. I'll say yes, enter, and then I'll type W enter and specify a width of 0.062, enter. And that's another example of the polyline edit command. In this video, we will create a polar array, and so I'll click the command line to make it active, type AR enter. Then click on polar array and select objects button, and I'll select the object. Hit enter, dialog box appears again. I'll click to pick a center point, which will be at the cross section. The total number of items I'll change to 10. I want the angle to fit to be 360 degrees, and so I'll click OK. In this one, we will create a rectangular array. We'll type AR enter on the command line and select rectangular array. Now we'll want to change the rows to 2 and the columns to 3, and we have to select the objects down here. The dialog box appears again, and we should put in dimensions. The row offset would be 0.48, and the column, no, my mistake, the row offset would be 0.59, and the column offset would be 0.48. Then we'll click OK, and that looks all right. The rotate command is another one that I use quite often. All you gotta do is type RO enter. I'll select this line and select the base. I want the line to go clockwise, so it has to be a negative number. So I'll simply type minus 30. Repeat the command. This time I'll take this vertical line, enter. There's the base point, and I want to do minus 30 again. Minus 30 again. Then of course I would copy CO enter this line in order to make the before and after the same. We'll learn about putting dimensions on later on. And that's that. The scale command is also pretty straightforward. Just type SC enter, select the object including the dimension, because the dimension will change when you scale it. I'll pick the intersection there, and I'll make it scale it by a factor of 2, enter. And that looks right. I want to drag it down with grips though to improve the appearance. You'll have to take O-snap off to do it right, like that. Hit escape. And that is done for the scale command. Using the trim command is also very helpful. Just type TR enter, and I'll select, say, these two vertical lines, enter. So from those lines I can trim that one, and that one. Or I can just type F enter and draw a line. It's a fence. Then automatically all of them will be trimmed at once. Or I can trim, I'll hit escape, repeat the command. I can trim from the circle anything on the outside, like that. Or if I wanted, I could even trim on the inside like this. I'll hit escape and undo that, just so I'll try it one more time, and this time I'll type TR enter. I want to trim from the circle, enter, and I'll use a fence, F enter. So I want to get rid of those lines, enter, trim again, select objects, F for fence, and just do it backwards like that. And that does it for this grouping of simple basic AutoCAD commands. Thank you for your attention.